Between January 1st, 2021 to the 26th of October 2023, 94 care providers have had their licenses revoked. Sadly, many more will be revoked now that CQC is involved. We've also had some whose licenses were suspended. Now, some of them are in court appealing the decision. Some are not appealing it. Now, is there any guarantee that this decision will be repealed and their licenses, reinstated? There is no guarantee. Now, I was doing some research the other day and I stumbled on this article where it listed about 6-7 pitfalls that, sponsors have gotten themselves into. Some have been unintentional. It wasn't their intention at all. Some have been intentional. Hence, a lot of them use lawyers to go through the process for them because a lot of paperwork to be done. Now, what are these pitfalls? I will be explaining all of these pitfalls in this video. And so please, if you are on a skilled worker visa or you are a sponsor, please, watch this video. So that if for some reason you are in court appealing the decision taken against your company and you are guilty of any of these pitfalls, I think there are about 6 or 7 of them, please don't bother. Hey, my name is Kesienaakwaraatie, a health and social care trainer. I can't appreciate all of you, my old and returning subscribers, enough. And my mentees as well, not forgetting you guys. You guys have been amazing. And hey, if you just watching this channel for the first time or you came upon it per chance, hi there, how you doing? On this channel, I talk about everything care and how you can excel as a carer, a support worker, a senior carer, or a healthcare assistant. And you'll do it to join this awesome growing family by doing what? Smashing the subscribe button, by giving me a thumbs up and not forgetting to click on that all important notification bell. So whenever I upload a new video, you will be among the very first to know. Freely as well, connect with me on Instagram, Care by Kes, TikTok, Caring Kes. And now, I'll see you there. So let's get straight into the crux of the matter. Now, one thing I have observed is that, and of course it has been stated there as well, is that when these home office staff go to visiting, different care companies to see, their audits and everything, to audit their accounts rather, and see how business is going. Sometimes, you all must have known, not sometimes, more all the time, they always ask to speak to skilled workers who are there, and if they have any old or employees there, they want to speak to everybody. Now, it has been known that some of these employees rather, or should I say skilled worker visas, tend to vent their anger and say all sorts of things about what their sponsors are doing. Some of them are right. But you see, when you speak out of anger at how your sponsor has treated you or is treating you, what do you think will happen? They will revoke their license. What happens to you? You were trying to be vindictive, but you only ended up causing your own COS to be revoked. And not just you, every single other person who they recruited from abroad and their families. They've had all their cause revoked. What have you benefited? Yes, your sponsor might have to pay some fines and penalties and all of that, but their business continues. Just that they cannot sponsor anybody anymore. What happens to you? And we all know right now that getting a COS is difficult. Let's not kid ourselves. It is. So what are the other pitfalls that they have said? I'm going to read it out to you as it is. Now, the other one is that failure to report changes to sponsored workers within 10 working days. Examples include where the employee does not start the role within 28 days. Now, some of you have said to me, oh, I came to the UK, I don't have a house in London, I have family in Slough, I have family in Birmingham, Manchester, wherever. And then you are telling your sponsor you cannot come over to London where you have been employed to work because of accommodation. What does that mean? You are playing with your stay in the UK. Yes, housing in London is something else. But you can look for a friend or a couple of people. You guys squat somewhere, room share, or if somebody gives you their apartment to live in there, be neat, be tidy. And then you go back to meet your family where they are. And you do that way. If you are saying, oh, the money does not add up, what would you rather have? That you don't have a job and you have a 60 days to stay in the country? Would you rather have that? So if you are guilty, please stop. All right? Now, another failure they have said here is that failure to report when a pre-registered nurse completes their NMC registration, or if they fail to complete it within 8 months. So if you are one of those who you employed nurses, so if you are brought in nurses and they have not completed that NMC registration, please ensure that they do that. And when they do or they fail it, please let Home Office know. Do not keep it secret and try to fix it. No. You can say, oh, this is what has happened. Can you give us some time to work on it and get it sorted? And then we'll get back to you. Honesty is the key here. I'll be honest with you guys. Honesty is the key. And the third one is failure to report changes to your organization within 20 working days. What are these changes they're talking about? Changes such as a change in status of any registration or accreditation providers are legally required to hold. So if you have changed anything, particularly with the CQC, let them know. It's important. Now, the fourth one is failure to keep compliant records. For example, a copy of the right to work check or DBS check, that's how we call it here, salary and skill level documents. What they're trying to say here is that when your workers come into the country, you're supposed to have a copy of their right to work check, or their DBS check. You're supposed to have their salary threshold. What are they going to be paid? You know, you're supposed to have their skilled level documents, as in they have done this training. You have all their trainings in their folders, everything in their folders. So when CQC comes, you are not running up and down. You have everything in their folders, everything in their folder for them to look at, either on the computers or whatever. Okay. Now, fifthly, failure to conduct right to work checks properly, or omitting to diarize follow-up checks when visas expire. Now, diarize there means put in a diary and follow up when their visas expire. Okay, so you mean that goes to say that when their visas expire, you must put in the check in place that, okay, the visas have expired, we are trying to get a renewal or whatever, so that they know when they come to check. Okay, now you also have the sixth one, which is failure to understand minimum salary requirements in the context of overall salary and hourly rates, and that shift premiums are prohibited. Now, can I shock you that even now that the government has said that, you know, as at last year April rather to this year to March here this year to this month rather, the scale was £10.44, isn't it? Do you know that some employers are still paying £10? Now, from next month, April, which is the new financial year, it's going to be £11.44. So if you have employers or sponsors who are not paying what they ought to be paying their staff, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem because it means that the employer is being fraudulent. Now, it is how much the government is stating you should pay. You cannot pay. There is no point going to get a certificate to sponsor anybody into the country. There's no point. Because the truth is that, it's a well-known knowledge that people are not paying their staff what they ought to pay their staff. Now, some days ago, a few of my mentees rather called me to say that they've had their sponsors' licenses suspended. Some have said to me that, whilst they were speaking with their home office staff when they had their interviews, they were being told that, you ought to get so from your employer. And they were like, oh, really? We were not aware. Now, all these things count against the sponsor. Having said that, they're also very good sponsors. I tell you honestly, when the rate was £10.44, some were already paying their staff £11. Some were paying £12. So why do we have others who are not paying up to the minimum wage? It doesn't make sense. Okay? Now, the last one, I think, is failure to comply with immigration law. That's the seventh one now. Failure to comply with immigration law and extensive compliance duties generally. Now, this includes recruiting the right candidates, assigning the right or the correct occupation code to the role, specifically failing to issue a new certificate or sponsorship when a care worker is promoted to senior care worker. So listen, if you have been promoted lately to a senior care worker, please and please and please get your employer to reissue a course to you, indicating that you have just been promoted. And then the right code has to be assigned to you. Because all this, it's causing serious trouble right now, I'll be honest. Thousands of families are being thrown into confusion with all of this. Okay? And then we have the last one. Failure to disclose if you have assigned a course to a family member of anyone within your organization. So please, guys, be careful. And so employers, take notes of all these pitfalls and please try to avoid. I see you in my next video, guys. Never you forget, always remember that no matter what the matter is, you matter so much more. Au revoir.